Previously on the CREW, Laden has an empire being set up, and that is why he comes up with the Mau Mau. Yet this is not for the bloody freedom fight. This time, no muscles, only brains, and Laden has exactly that surrounding him. Sometimes all it takes is a talk in the Manchester conference and all is well. This is the CREW. As Laden waited for Nyambura that night 8 years ago, it's 9:30 and she is not here. What could have happened to her? Maybe she went on aborting the pregnancy and died in the process. God forbid, said Laden to himself. So he walks and asks Steve, Washiko, umona Lucy of late? Nilimwona last week mwisho, answered Steve. She's in her house, replied Diana. She told me that she is coming at around 9:30. So Laden continued waiting for her. At around 11 p.m. Laden asked Steve again, are you sure she is coming still? Ningekupeleka kwake but saa hii niko sure gate ishafungwa. Wewe tulia, asubuhi ikifika nikupeleke kwake. So Laden wait for it to dawn. Gate ufunguliwa saa ngapi? 5. It's on the eve of the Labor Day, so Laden is not reporting to work the following day. Let me go and check up on her, he says to himself. As he sipped from the keg glass, on his breast pocket he had 15 or maybe 30,000. Laden drives into the ABC Place. What many do not understand is that ABC Place stands for Before Christ Palace, i.e. when you place or when you remove the A from ABC and place it in between the P and L consonants in the word place, it turns into BC Palace. Therefore, this place or this palace had always existed since before the first coming of Christ, making it the most important place in the world. As Laden walks into the coffee franchise, he meets Rachel. Where is my wife? Asked Laden. She's in the kitchen, said Rachel. She said you find her there when you come. Okay, thank you, said Laden before walking to the kitchen. Hey love, hey babe. Are you pull up? I pull up. I pull up. He's looking at Jasmine in a Gor Mahia jersey. On the back written Nyakwarge Simba. Radam baby. Aki baby si unisaidie kuchonga viazi. I have guessed by one and surely I am behind schedule. Is that the reason as to why you left the house in a hurry? Anyway, on it my queen. He puts on the apron and goes to the back of the kitchen. That morning at around 3 in the morning, 8 years ago, Laden walks to the latrine. Along the corridors, Fei is there, Makena, Karo, Liz, Nyawe is there, and so is Machwani, who is talking to Mama Saum. At the entrance gate, Kate is seen walking closer to the toilet. Nikuja nikushikie, she speaks to Laden, who is urinating in the latrine wall. Z, itakuangusha. Si unibaie cup moja basi. Kuja upewe, says Laden as he pulls up his zip. Kolo, pewa udem black moja, says Laden to Kolo, who takes the 100 shillings from Laden and walks back to the cake counter. Musa comes and sits next to Steve, who is on the verge of chewing out. Laden finishes up with the Irish potatoes and hands them to the chips cutter area. He walks back and picks up the other bucket full of potatoes, and then heads back to the second cutter and starts chipping down. From the sound system, Sia's Unstoppable is playing. As he sings along, Jasmine is seen handing ugali and daga to a client, Sia. Meanwhile, at the gate of the Kibra court, Stallman drives in company is Bosco. They all walk into the court. Laden picks up his phone. Oya Bazoo, I think you need to come to the courts. I think there is something the lawyer is not telling you. I'll be on my way. As he says this, David, Kanji, and B walk into the courtroom and sit down. At that time, Laden calls Moniki. Nikki, rada gani? Ama hizi ni bizile za you hire a lawyer, we buy the judge. Jusielewi mbona Luki bado ako zabi. Well, you are still my lawyer, bro. Jaji amekataa kumanga. Anadai aje? Sijui. Ndio nataka kujua. I'll call you. Is the crew there with you? Yeah, they are there. Okay, I'm coming. Says Laden as he hangs up the phone. He walks out of the kitchen area and meets Jasmine along the way. Hey babe, I need to step out a little bit. I'm heading to the court, sir. I hear there is a problem with the case. I don't know what is happening really, but the crew is there. Let me get down to it. Okay, I can accompany. But what about the guests? I won't take long. I'm coming back. Says Laden as he kisses Jasmine and leaves the franchise. Meanwhile, 8 years ago, Laden and Steve are seen staggering down the stairs of Relaxing Bar. They hit Druma Road and walk down. They walk down to Merchants, another brothel. Walks up the stairs. Behind him, Laden. They meet Shiko and Steve on the stairs. So Shiko has a conversation with Steve before he walks up the stairs and goes to the latrine, then comes back, joins Laden, and they walk to OTC stage, get into a bus, activate, and head to Dandora. Meanwhile, back at the courts, as Laden walks and bows down before the courtrooms, he proceeds to sit down. Just as Lucas's case is mentioned. Lucas Kazungu against the state. This is your hearing. Kindly step to the... Lucas stands up and walks to the accused area. At that time, Mwaniki stands up. Your Honor, thank you and good to see you on this fine morning, and thank God that we are all here. Now, pertaining this case, apparently my client over here has been remanded for something that he did not do. Because even the evidence that we have, we can actually prove that the evidence has been tampered with. And for this reason, I am requesting to bring a team of experts so that we can evaluate the picture that is being used to incriminate my client. Kindly, Your Honor, this is my request. You can proceed. So at that time, Mwaniki calls B and Kanji to come forward before the courtroom. Now, as B continues and proceeds to plug in the linker on the television, the Chromecast, the laptop to the television, and the entire room has a vision of whatever is happening. Now, as B explains, Your Honor, according to what we can show using this application that can be used to prove if a picture has been tampered with by Photoshop or if it is authentic, we have actually shown that this picture has been tampered with, because if you evaluate the pixels around the face of the accused person, you can actually see that this, at that time, the head of the picture detached itself from the body. And it can clearly be seen that the photo had been edited. So, Your Honor, as you can see, whatever we have been shown here is that this picture was photoshopped. And apparently, my client wasn't on the scene at the occurrence of that crime. So, kindly, Your Honor, I'm requesting for this court to be fair in its judgment. At that time, Judge Oganda request for the Council of the State. The Council of the State, what do you have to say pertaining this? Well, clearly, Your Honor, it can be seen that this photo had been tampered with, and according to the information that we have been shown here, it is clear that the accused person here was wrongfully remanded, and for that reason, we, as the Council of the State, we would like to apologize for any inconveniences caused to his family and to his person as an individual. The judge taps, and the case is cancelled. Apparently, that happened to be the last file to be read that day. So at that time, Laden walks and hugs Lucas. They walk together out of the court. David gets behind the V8. Mwaniki gets in the Audi, and Lucas follows him. They all drive out of the courtrooms and head back to ABC Place. Meanwhile, in Dandora, at the stage, 8 years ago, Laden is seen alighting from the bus, Activate, at Dandora Terminus Phase 5. Apparently, Stephen is very drunk. He cannot even remember the directions to Nyambura's place. Now, luckily, outside Eastmart, Steve spots Caroline Wangari, Nyambura's daughter. Sasa Karo, ako wapi ma'am? Says Steve as he staggers to greet Caroline. Hayuko, says Caroline as she runs away to join the others. Steve walks to the gate leading to the building adjacent to Kenyomba. He walks into a room on the first floor. On knocking on the door, Lillian comes to the door and gets the door for him. Looking inside, sasa Njenga. Poa sana Steve, ukoaje? Niko poa, nimekuja kusalimia dada yangu hapa. Lillian, Nyambu ako huko juu. Lucy ako juu. Ako juu lakini amejifungia, usimwambie ni mimi nimekuambia. Anahepa landlord. Okay, sawa. So they walk up the stairs, and on the door, Steve knocks. At that time, Laden walks to the balcony and is looking down at Dandora Phase 5 area. When Nyambura gets the door, he walks back to the door, and when Nyambura sees him, he moves close and hugs him. They all get into the house.